Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Barry. And with me this week, for the last time for a while, not the last time ever, he'll be back. It's Swan.
Yeah.
Hi, Swan.
Hey, Barry.
How are you, buddy?
Pretty good.
Good. We decided last minute that we'd make this episode happen.
Yeah. Not quite a father yet.
No. We're officially 3 days past our due date, which is one of the more bizarre things for a first time. First pregnancy? First pregnancy is what I was trying to say there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, she could come through the door in 2 seconds and say, "We need to go to the hospital right now."
And then I'll do the rest of the episode by myself.
On your own.
It'd be great.
Can you water my plants and feed my dogs as well?
Yes, but I'm also going to review every whiskey in your cabinet. I'm hoping to make it to 35.
I've got doubles of some bottles, and you're like, "Yep, same."
That or I review them individually and give them entirely different scores.
You literally just put like a blindfold over yourself. Welcome back. Let's drink another one. Well, we normally start the show out with Flying Blind when we're not doing banked episodes. Which, by the way, next week's going to be the beginning of the banked episodes. So 2 weeks from now, maybe we should have saved this for the 150th episode. Nah. Let's just keep going.
It's a lot of prep work.
It is. So this is, we normally do Flying Blind at the beginning of these episodes. And what it is I blind the other person who is on the show with something, and they don't know what it is. It's the purpose of it being blind. So what do you think, Swan? What do you think?
It's got some heat on the nose.
Just a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of bright. Mm-hmm. Vanilla, toffee-like.
Okay, my throat's just going to gurgle. Yeah. That's fine, too.
It doesn't smell like it has an overwhelming amount of age on it, but it's also not young, so it's not...
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's crazy old.
But, yeah, I think that some of the grains are definitely coming forward, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it smells very rye-heavy.
It does, yes.
To me. All right. Well.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Dink. You're so far away.
Clink. Yeah, we are.
Ooh. Oh, man. Is that peated?
No. It's not.
It tastes like it's got...
I can see where you'd be confused by that, though.
Yeah.
Whew, that's the first thing I've had all day. That was just straight Kentucky Hug.
That's a bizarre opener. I don't know. I got to go back for that one because that was just a shock to the senses.
I will say, like, the second... After the first sip, the nose seems to change a little bit as well.
Okay. I'm guessing it's the rye content that's up there, but it is smoky.
Mm-hmm.
I got to try some of that smoke wagon.
Nice.
It's taking me back to that.
Buddy, that's hot on the palate.
It is hot on the palate, yes.
Ah!
It doesn't seem like it's super young. It's kind of reminding me of some of the Texas whiskeys that we've had where it's really oily, really dark, potent, but not like super high age feeling. Mm-hmm. I don't know what this is, man.
Well, this is our blend from last week.
I like it, but I'm just confused.
And the reason I'm being fairly vague on this is because I don't want to reveal anything about what this is publicly just yet, because this is for a project that Chad is working on, Chad of It's Bourbon Night. And this is our submission for it.
I really hope he likes it. I like it a lot.
I do too.
I just I don't know. I hope it has a little more time to come together.
I'm wondering, and we might have to check with Chad if we can add some water to it.
Yes. I don't know. We'll have to look into that.
I've got a 2-ounce sample bottle for him as well.
Yeah.
So I want to know.
Man, that is like,
it's surprising, right?
Yeah. No, they just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's got the Woodford effect going on where it's not jutting out in like a whole lot of directions.
Yeah.
But it's also like, it's got a lot of flavor in every direction. I mean, I'll drink a whole bottle of it. I'm not gonna be mad about it.
It doesn't feel like it did when we made it last week, though.
No.
And this has just been sitting overnight.
I don't know. It's like,
I don't know either.
It's very strange.
I had to be really careful, though, because I realized about halfway through the week that I had had too much of.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you do gotta be careful.
I was like, oh, this is for something. We're not done with this yet.
Yeah.
So I had to back off and find other means of COVID protection.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what they think of this because
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
I am too.
That's in my wheelhouse.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I like the kind of almost PDE stuff. So I'm excited.
I think the finish is still lingering for me.
It is, yeah. It's very Kentucky Hug.
Yeah.
It's kind of hot on the first sip, but the second one's nice.
The more it opens up in the glass, I think the better it smells as well. And it's what I'm remembering.
Yes.
From when we first
we had some
it.
technical difficulties when we were blending this, so it got a chance to kind of mingle and open up a little.
Yeah. But I think it's solid. I think we have a good chance with this one.
Ooh.
We're just going to keep teasing what this is without actually saying what it is.
Yeah, and here's the best part. It's like, even though this is technically bought by one place and it should be available at any given time, one of them is can...
Daggone it! I shouldn't have said what the bottle was.
Yeah.
Shoot. All right, well... retroactively, I have beeped it out.
Yeah.
So I'll have to beep out what you said as well.
Yeah. That's
Shoot!
fine.
I was so careful.
Yeah.
Ah, well.
It's all good.
Doesn't matter. Hey, a couple of things before we get into what we've been drinking recently. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for being here. If you have not yet already, please subscribe. Leave us a rating and a review. We've got a really good review this week.
We do.
I can't wait to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll read out reviews here on the show too. So if you leave it on the iTunes podcast app, we'll actually talk about it and say a big old thank you, give you a big old virtual hug, or not because of COVID. And also, if you are not yet, it would be great if you could be a Patreon subscriber. Patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast. $5 a month gets you a bunch of bonus content. We've got all sorts of pregame chats and the last call, which is a lot of fun. Sorry, last week's last call is a little bit late, or was a little bit late. By the time this comes out, it will be out. But it's just been crazy preparing for the baby and also thinking that the baby was going to be here by now. And as of recording, she is still in the womb.
Did you go to the doctor and be like, why'd you lie to me? Give me a date. I was prepared.
You
and then
filthy liar. Oh my goodness. I just got confirmation. I hate that this is happening right now because it means that we have to wait to review these.
Mm-hmm.
But I just got word from Old Forester that our 150th samples and the birthday bourbon samples are on the way. So there's a chance that if it gets here in enough time, I'm going to be taking that birthday bourbon to the hospital with me.
I think you should. And I think
that might wind up being my first pour after she's born.
If we can squeeze in an episode somewhere between the banked ones for our 150th, that maybe we should do Old Forester 150th.
That's a really good idea.
It's kind of perfect, right?
If we can squeeze it in.
Yeah. It'll be us just drinking at 9 a.m. on a Thursday. It's the only time we had.
or 2 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
If it gets here, I imagine it'll be here by about Wednesday. So maybe like once this episode is out, we'll at least be about to get those samples. Pretty exciting.
It's gonna be nice.
I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty pumped for it. But we're not really doing news or anything this week.
We're just kind of winging it.
We are a little bit, but I want to talk about something.
What's that?
We were in a magazine.
We were in a magazine. Not just a magazine.
American Whiskey Magazine, which is just insane. So we were approached by Peggy No Stevens. Gosh, I can't even remember when she did. Back in July, I think. Page 50. I've memorized the page.
Aha.
Right next to Bourbon Pursuit, on the same spread as Whiskey Cast. It's so cool. But anyway, so she approached us about doing a little feature for this article that she was writing about podcasting and whiskey culture. And the whole thing for her was that she has kind of latched onto podcasts during the pandemic. And so she wanted to feature those of us who have either had her on our shows before, or have been friends with her since the start of our shows, or just been supportive of each other, all this, that, and the other. And I immediately was like, absolutely, please, we would love to do this. This is the first time we've ever been featured in a magazine.
Yeah,
it's crazy, but I'm super, super excited about that and really cool. It's been out for over a month now, technically, but if you can go to like Barnes & Noble or, some kind of local bookstore, they'll probably have it on their magazine stand, their news stand, whatever you want to call it. But wild, dude.
It is wild to look at. Honestly, it's more wild to me, the content of this magazine, outside of what we're, our section, just like,
oh yeah,
we're in a magazine with that.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, there is, well, and on the cover is Marianne Eaves.
Yes,
who is now a friend of the show, of course, and she's been on multiple times, and we've got a great relationship with her. But also, the whole back section of it is just reviews that Peggy and Susan Regler did, and it just is like, to be even considered, to even be nominated is just such an honor.
And they also really liked Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. just looking at some of the reviews.
But yeah, man, it's wild. It was such an honor to, get the opportunity, and here it is in print. And so I hope I didn't sound too dumb, because I wrote all the stuff for, the interview section or whatever. And I really hope I didn't come off as odd or brash or anything.
Yeah, think about it like this, man. You're putting your personality out there, and that's a huge portion of the podcast. Exactly half or more. So
a little bit more than half.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's going to draw people in. Hopefully they'll listen, and not just for one episode. So that's what we want.
Which has happened before.
Yep.
But that's fine, as long as they don't leave a nasty review, which has happened before as well.
Let me be clear. You can leave a nasty review if you want to. Just put 5 stars.
Yeah. And we'll read it out, too.
We will, yeah.
You can say some of the meanest, nastiest things about us. And if you leave 5 stars, we'll read it out.
Why do I feel like we're about to get a review from Joseph Brazo? It's just like, you guys suck. Swan smells.
He only listens on YouTube. Yeah. Therein lies the problem. So, I mean, honestly, there's not much we're going to be doing other than hanging out and having some drinks and chatting. So, do you want to try? Let's try this.
What is that?
This is a pick of Jefferson's Ocean, Voyage 17.
Is it one of the weeded ones? Or is it?
No. I don't think. Hold on.
Because they were going through a thing there where they just change it up every couple of releases.
This is just about the voyage. I'm pretty sure this one isn't weeded.
Yeah, they plaster it on the front if it's weeded.
Yeah. But so this was a pick, oddly enough, from Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's.
Of all places.
Trader Joe's is one of those places I forget that they even sell liquor, and then when you go in there, you're like, oh, wow, they got a decent selection. And then the guy behind the counter bashes the Trader Joe's
The
bourbon
actual bourbon
that they have over your head. If you look at the bourbon for longer than 5 seconds, you are going to hear about their proprietary bourbon that they've got. And they're going to tell you it's amazing.
I bought a bottle recently of the Trader Joe's. Mm-hmm. It's no good, man.
It's not good.
It's so bad. I just don't like it. I don't think that it's got anything but the thing is, like, I think that it used to be good. I'm pretty sure that it used to be good.
See, I've never heard anything positive about the Trader Joe's thing other than it was surprisingly okay for the price.
No, it's astringent. I mean, really.
And then everyone has told me that Costco, as long as you like Dickel, it's actually very good.
It's just George Dickel. Yeah. It's literally 7-year-old Dickel product.
Which is fine, you know. I mean, they put it out for a good price. You know, it's hard to find Dickel for that price from other places.
Yeah. But it is what it is. But I haven't had this in a while. Dad actually picked up this bottle for me. So
Nice.
I wanted to see what you thought.
What's the proof on this one?
Just 90?
I've only bought 2 bottles of Jefferson's Ocean, and both of them have been cast strength.
Yeah. I've not bought a cast strength bottle yet. I'm sure I will eventually. But
Man.
I apologize also. My allergies have been really bad. So
Mine too, man.
I'm still I'm trying to get the coughs out.
You know what really got rid of my allergies, believe it or not?
120 proof bourbon.
That and doing a COVID test, man.
That makes sense.
That lady cleaned me out, man. She did.
Tickled your brain.
She smoothed out some part of my brain down there.
It's not a bad nose.
No, the nose is just
It's really
pleasant.
gentle. Yeah.
It's got that kind of Jefferson's feel to it, but I am missing the brininess. I get that on a lot of the cast strength stuff that I've had from them.
Yeah. Do you think that the brininess is kind of a placebo effect?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't really know if there's any true brininess.
Well, I got it off the Voyage 10 and Voyage 8, I believe, were the 2 cast strength releases that I've owned. And the 10 I actually just finished a couple nights ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that one had more brininess to me. The other one was just a pleasant, bourbon.
Was it Voyage 7?
Maybe.
Voyage 7 was cast strength, 8
Yes.
was not.
Yeah, I think it might have been Voyage 7.
But 10 definitely was.
Yeah. 10 was a great one. I loved that
10,
one.
you brought 10 over here. Mm-hmm. Like right before the pandemic,
Yes.
I think, and it stayed here for a long time. I mean, until I moved the studio down to where it is now. Mm-hmm. It was in the old studio, which is now the nursery.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't touch this because I like that bottle so much. Mm-hmm. I was like, if I touch this, it's gonna be gone. I'm gonna drink all of it.
Yeah.
And like I could not even look at it.
That's the thing. I feel like Jefferson's. I need to taste this. Hold on.
Yeah, sorry, we just keep talking around it.
Yeah, it's good. It's just classic Jefferson's. Dark chocolate. Mm-hmm. Just pleasant.
Actually kind of reminds me of Buffalo Trace a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. It's got a bit of fruitiness in there.
Yeah. I have this idea, by the way. And I can't remember. It might have been on Discord or something. But somebody said something about how, Jim Beam's slogan is basically just, it's nutty. Mm-hmm. I want to mock up a Jim Beam peanut butter whiskey label. Mm-hmm. And the tagline just in big letters just says, it's nutty. Oh, you know what's even better? Quote Chad.
Yeah.
Chad Perkins, it's bourbon night. It's nutty.
Yeah. I feel like Jefferson's is really missing the mark on some things. personally.
Yeah, I think that their more entry-level products are not great.
Well, so for me, it's not even that. It's that their branding is confusing. A lot of the stuff they've got is very old special things, different variations of that. But honestly, their releases that I like, that are pricier, they just seem to like put out a lot of product that's not that.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of them that they gravitate towards, like release, the Oceans 7 and 10 were great. The weeded one that they put out first got a lot of admiration from people. The Twin Oak picks, great.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
But that's the thing is like, that's a very small portion of what they actually put out.
I never had their weeded ones.
Yeah,
I never tried them.
I've had some people tell me that the weeded picks that they got from Liquor Barn were actually really good, and they enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But, like, what voyage are we on? Voyage 18 is, like, the current one
this
out?
one's 17. The current one is 23.
Yeah.
Or going... Oh, it will be 23. 21... No, wait. No, I'm sorry. 22's out right now, and that's a weeder. Mm-hmm. 21 was cast strength. They haven't done a cast strength weeded yet.
No.
They need to.
I don't know. I just want to see high proof stuff put out by them in an approachable price range, and I think everyone would agree with that. Like,
yeah.
Jefferson's is just like Brown Foreman in my mind, where it's like, it's fine, but when it gets cast strength, I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So... I don't know. It's strange to me. I'd love to see just even if they just put Jefferson's barrel proof, I'd be like, yes, sir. Here's my money.
Just a regular product that they would put out.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I don't think that it has to be cask strength, or excuse me, it doesn't have to be Ocean Voyage.
No.
To be a barrel proof product.
No, I would honestly love to see just a cast strength Jefferson's. Done. No other descriptors. Just put it out.
So where they don't distill, do you think that putting it out at cast strength, and it depends on their blending process and everything, but do you think that would shine too much light on where they are sourcing their products from?
Well, here's a better question. Do you care?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, but the reason I ask is because they are kind of shrouded in mystery, and I'm not saying that it's the best thing for them to not be open about where they're sourcing their products from. Mm-hmm. And, every distillery, every business has their own right to decide what they want to do with their products. But, I don't know. I lost my point.
Well, I mean, think about it this way.
There.
If I was going to give you $100 and told you can only buy 2 bottles, you could go buy the newest release of Barrel Bourbon, or you could go buy the newest release of Jefferson's. What are you going to grab?
Barrel.
Are they not doing relatively the same thing, sourcing, blending, and putting out a nice product?
That is true. That is very true.
Yeah. Jefferson's has been around way longer. They should be able to capture the audience like no other. And right now, it seems like that they've taken a very unique idea, and they have lots of them, don't get me wrong, and they've put it out, and people are just like, I'm grabbing one because it's part of my voyage. You should be buying it to drink it and grab 6 more, and then the 6th one be part of your voyage collection.
I think that the pricing is a little bit all over the place too. Mm-hmm. And I know that they are pricing it higher if it is cask strength.
That's fine.
But I don't mind that. But I feel like, kind of to your point, they should be putting out a barrel proof product separate from the Oceans.
Yeah.
Or put out a 90 proof product that's separate from the Oceans. I don't care. My only point is that when you have a product that basically has multiple releases under the same label, and the only thing you're adding or subtracting is 2 words, and the price keeps jumping all over the shop, that gets confusing and it gets frustrating.
Yeah.
And so I would prefer to see them split off in 2 different modes. Into 2 different brands.
I mean, the only one that I really, looked for was the Groth Cask Reserve. I loved that one.
Yeah.
That one was good.
Pritchard Hill was really good, too.
Pritchard Hill's pretty good, too, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. Groth Cask at cast strength. That'd be fun. Who knows? Maybe I'm just a profound and I'm not speaking
Oh, we
for
definitely
everyone.
are.
Yeah.
We definitely are.
But
I
I
can't.
don't know. Jefferson's is all right.
Yeah, I think that just as resoundingly like, okay. It's what was Pete Davidson's character on SNL? I can't remember his name.
Which one?
Well, he's just this guy, and like he doesn't say much. He's usually like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. What is his name? I keep wanting to say Drake, but that's not it at all. Chad. His name's Chad.
Oh.
Duh. You want to try something I bet you haven't had in a long time? It's not Old Granddad.
Yeah. Oh, I remember this bottle.
You know what this blend is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is my old weeded blend. I haven't had this in forever. What?
See the sediment in there?
Is there some sediment? I didn't even notice.
There is some sediment.
I wonder.
Let's see if the cork's doing all right.
Is it hanging in there?
Yeah, it's doing all right.
That's good.
Who cares?
I can't fully remember what I put in this blend.
I remember a good portion of it being Maker's Cask.
Yeah. I think it was Maker's Cask.
107.
Maybe. It was either 107 or Special Reserve. Because I remember trying to put something in the middle in there, but I can't think of it.
Larceny, maybe?
Oh, you know what? It was 107. Because I put Larceny in there as well.
Man, you did something special with this blend, I swear.
I have not had this in well over a year. Truly, I haven't even touched this bottle. Just to, move it around, put it down here in the new studio, get it out of the way, something like that. And I'm pretty sure I did equal parts of all three. I can't remember. It's been so long. Gosh, there is a lot of sediment in the bottom of this one.
Yeah, it looks like a dusty. Like
it kind of does. Mm-hmm. Even the color, because it has gotten a little hazy too. I had some different batch ideas, but I get the feeling that the one that I went with was number 1, which was Weller, Maker's Cask, and Larceny. Batch 2 was Weller, Maker's Cask, Larceny, and Old Fitz Bottled and Bond. And 3 was Maker's, Larceny, Old Fitz Bottled and Bond. Which really, the Old Fitz doesn't make much sense anymore.
Who knows? I'm sure somebody could tell us. Ian, where you at?
But I think if that was... That Old Fitz would have been the old Fitz.
Yeah, and the ugly label.
Yeah, not the new decanter one.
That is one of my favorite noses.
It smells dusty.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure this isn't a dusty?
The color looks like it.
I think this is a dusty. I don't know what happened to my weeded blend now.
Whatever this is, it's fine. It's good. Very good.
I'm an idiot. This is a Jim Beam dusty. That's why I put it in the Old Granddad. I'm dumb.
I mean, it does kind of have like a weeded quality. The rye's not punching me, but the profile and taste is just not weeder.
No. That's a Jim Beam dusty. I can't remember exactly what it was or where it was or when it was from. I want to say like late 70s, early 80s. But I decanted it because I think it came in a decant. I think it did. It might be that the rose one on top of my cabinet.
Okay.
Let me get that down because I can't remember any of the details on it now.
It's the most first world bourbon drinker problem I've ever heard. We've got too many dusty decanters around here. What do we got?
So, it's a 1979 100-month-old at 80 proof.
Nice.
So, I mean, it's lower. It's lower in proof. But truly the only dusty decanter that I've found from Jim Beam that's any higher. Oh, wait, no. Chad and I had that Jim Beam black that was 90 proof.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also that Bottled and Bond I got over the summer.
Yeah, the stuff that gets higher proof, it just goes crazy high for pricing.
I don't know why I sniffed it. I can't really tell. I don't even really remember where I got this from.
That was one of the first ones you got.
Mm-hmm.
Mind if I see that?
Yeah, I don't mind at all. Sorry, I should have handed it to you without.
No, I just want to look at
Instead of just putting it down on the floor.
It's purdy.
Joseph Brazo hates it. He thinks it's ugly.
It tastes good though.
It tastes really good.
It's got good personality, Joseph.
I think this truly might have been the first Dusty decanter I ever bought. Mm-hmm. Because I remember Curtis being really worried about the drinking the lead from it.
That's right. And one of us got sick after we drank it, but it was completely unrelated. And we were just like, maybe that's what did it.
But it was like a sinus infection or something.
Yeah.
Like nothing that would have been caused by a lead decanter. That's funny. I totally forgot about that. So what are we gonna do after the hiatus?
After the hiatus?
Do we have big plans? We're gonna be getting close to like our end of the year wrap up.
I don't know. I think we need to have a blowout episode where we just get completely drunk,
obliterated,
and just, try everything in our 2020 consideration.
Oh boy,
if we've got it available still.
Well, like the Elijah Craig that I chose, I don't have any more of. I finished it on my stream last week.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'll drink some C920. What the heck?
Who's mad?
I'm not mad.
No, and this year, I'll be honest, I've been playing the mooch from the Whiskey Tribe. I've not bought a ton. I've just tasted a lot.
Most of what you've had has been either over here or at Chad's.
Yeah, and most of it's been like, I'll help you out with this, blah, 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 blah. Also, do you want to pour a blank? And I'm just like, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, and we're packaging T-shirts, but sure, I'll take some SC4 PR5. Let's go. And I'll try it out over there. So it's going to be a lot of remembering.
Yeah, I last year was a lot more diligent in my note taking. Like mid-year, I had already made out my list of what I thought, or just possibilities. And I haven't had any of the bookers from this year. I mean, thankfully we've had all of the Heaven Hill products this year.
Yeah.
But
I've been able to try Bookers 1 and 2 from this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How have you felt about them?
I think they're doing a better job this year than they did last.
Yeah.
But they were kind of in the same wheelhouse, flavor-wise, for me this year.
Nah, that's okay.
Super wildly different.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that they're trying to stay fairly consistent, but I would also like some variation.
I would like you to put out 4 completely different things, even if one of them was crap. For me,
I don't know if I fully agree with that, just because I would like to see consistent products, especially because of the price point.
That's true. They're jumping up there.
And if they are going to have it priced as where it is, there's got to be something that I can keep going back for.
Yeah. And I think another thing too is this year we got aggressively past the whole we need the newest, biggest, baddest release, and we were just like, hey, have you had this specific pick from across town? And it's just like, no, do I need to go grab it? Yeah,
you
go
do.
grab it. And even looking at some of the bottles you got over here that we've kind of got like a graveyard that we've got going on.
Yeah,
it's like it's picks. It's a lot of picks.
It's picks and Elijah Craig barrel proof.
Yes, and
I think that's just how this year has gone.
Yeah, and on top of it, I feel like a lot of it's been us realizing, oh man, Russell's Reserve is really good, like the latter end of last year.
Yeah.
And then this year, I'm looking at the bottles I've killed, and I've got a little collection of corks, and it's gone from all Knob Creek to more Knob Creek and more Russells. It's just Knob Creek and Russells and Elijah Craig picks.
I kind of started the year doing this little experiment. I don't even know if I've talked about this on the show before, but taking different picks of Russells and Knob Creeks and putting them all in a single bottle. Like if I had a couple ounces left, I would put all of the Knob Creeks into one and all the Russells into another one. Just because I was like, I wanted something a little more unique, and I wanted something that I could, break out for people. And so, it's not technically a single barrel at that point. It's a small batch at a higher proof,
Yeah.
And I kind of stopped doing that at some point because I just wanted to finish these bottles off. And I don't know. I think the last time that I added anything was back in like May or June, much earlier in the year. But I mean, it was fun, and I want to keep doing it when the time is appropriate. But in the meantime, I'm just kind of like, I just want to drink what I have.
Yeah, that, and plus you do a stream and you're like, oh, I got a little bit. I'll save that for the rest of my bottle. And everyone's like, bottle chug. Let's finish it. Do it, Perry.
That bottle chug last week was ridiculous.
Oh, as soon as you did it, I was like, oh, I'm getting off.
We went for an hour and a half last week. Mm-hmm. It was great. Lots of snuffy chats. Mm-hmm. We're going to be, I'm going on a hiatus, of course, with the live streams for a bit. But unless something happens miraculously and the baby's asleep by like 6:30 every night.
It could happen.
Who's to say? No, but I'll definitely need the sleep. So yeah. This is gonna be a rare period in my life where I'm gonna take sleep over bourbon.
Bold. Or bourbon right before sleep.
It's just a shot of Knob Creek single barrel. I did realize the other day, I don't have any bookers right now.
Wow, none?
I have no bookers. I finished all of them during quarantine or during lockdown, I guess. And I've just I don't know why, I've just not felt like buying another one in the meantime.
Well, I don't know. We kind of got bookers fatigue last year.
I think so, yeah.
We were, I don't know, in 2018, we were just like, this is the best thing ever. Why have we not had this? This is amazing. And then 2019, they put out just some meh.
Yeah.
It's like, what's my reasoning for going back?
Yeah. I would rather spend a little bit more and buy older batches.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could find another off your rocker.
Yeah.
I'd be
batches.
Thrilled.
Yeah, and then on top of it, you can go buy a 10.5-year Russell's pick right now at Total Wine.
Or a 9 or 10-year-old Knob Creek single barrel.
Yeah. Well, heck, I found that 14.5-year
at Total Wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$55.
It's ridiculous.
I mean,
it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. That's hard to beat, man.
Yeah.
That's hard to beat.
That bottle doesn't exist any longer.
No, I didn't expect it to have much of a lifespan.
It didn't take much time for me to finish that one off. But do you want to have another old favorite?
Yeah, what we got?
Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond?
Oh, yes.
It's getting us kind of in the mindset because we are going to be doing a review as well here in a bit of the newest Parkers, which is I'm very excited for us to get into it. I don't want to spoil too much.
Is this the one that I told you?
The one you
sold you?
Sold me. Yes.
Sweet. So you're in need of another one. Mm-hmm. Let's see what I got, Perry.
Because that's my last one before I break into the one that you gave me to give to Donnie.
Oh.
I'm not going to do it, Donnie. I promise. I'm not going to do that.
It's just so solid.
Is it like coming home?
Yeah.
I tell you, it's going to be weird you not being over here. Because, I mean, A, you're over here every Monday. Mm-hmm. But B, I still have all of those episodes that I have to go through and edit. And so it's going to be like something that came out of nowhere from the two of us. Yeah. I have to then edit and post.
I'm over here every Monday at the exact same time, so much so that my phone, when I'm leaving my house around like 4:40ish on Monday, will just be like, this blank address is X amount away from you. It's going to take 15 minutes with traffic. And I'm just like,
oh, don't forget that phone.
We like consistency.
Come on, iPhone, get it together. We know you're listening, Tim Apple. Oh man,
It's just nice.
I need to get at least 2 more bottles of this.
Yeah.
One that I know I'm going to drink, and another one that I can just put somewhere and forget about. And eventually I'll come across it again, and it could be 20 years down the line, 30 years, whatever. Mm-hmm. But just so I have it.
It's nice. I feel like this should be poured with every new Heaven Hill release that's not a rye for me. Because it's like a Heaven Hill baseline.
Daggone it.
Yeah.
I miss this bottle so much.
Me too.
I'll tell you a funny story about this bottle too. I was back when it was still available. I was telling my brother Dane that he needed to go and get it.
As opposed to Benchmark?
As opposed to Benchmark. And he went out and got it, and he tried it, and I saw him like, the next weekend or whatever, and he was like, something's different. I don't like it as much as the one I had from you. I was like,
got the white label.
You got the 80 proof, didn't you? And he was like, oh no.
And see, I had the exact same experience with my brother as well. He drinks, I'm putting up air quotes here, bourbon. It's more like he just shoots bourbon.
Yeah.
And recently he started making cocktails and stuff, and I was like, following my footsteps.
There
you
you
got
go.
another year
There you
before
go.
you got a little collection going. But he just, when I gave him one of these, I was like, you know what? $13-$14. You take it, man. You just enjoy it. You just turned 21. Go have some parties or whatever, do whatever. And so I figured he would just take it and, pour a couple for a little bit and have it for, a couple weeks.
Uh-oh.
Next night, he texted me. He's like, oh, it's all gone, man. It was great. And I was like,
holy crap.
that was like 3/4 of a bottle. I was like, what happened? He was like, oh, me and my friend just finished it. And I was like, you're alive today?
Dang, son.
Yeah, it's just gone.
I mean, I can put it back, but still.
And like 2 weeks later, they're like, this is going away. And I was just like, you just chugged it. You chugged it. It's gone. Why'd you do that?
Would you... His name's Don?
No. I said, why would you do that?
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you said...
It's gone. Why would you do that?
Oh, I thought you said... thought you said Don, and I was like, are you telling me that you guys are Don and Swan?
Yeah. No.
Or Sean.
Connor. No, we're Sean Connery.
Sean and Con.
No, seriously. My dad.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
It's bad.
You've told... I don't know if you've told it on the show before, but...
No. Thanks, Dad.
He's not even the best Bond. He's not even the best James Bond. Whatever. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if... we might have addressed this before on the show. I think this might be a, kind of a gimme answer. But instead of getting rid of it and creating this new kind of premium-ish brand that was a year older and 3 times the price and not available in Kentucky, would you rather have just seen them take the age statement off and have it be 4 years old?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, even if they had bumped it up to like $15.
I think you could have put it at 20, taken the age statement off. I would have been mad for 2 weeks, and then been like, well, I did buy 3 bottles this week. Can't really say much.
I don't think I would have even been mad if they took the age statement off, bumped it up a little bit in price, and then distributed it more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if it went out of Kentucky a little bit, I wouldn't have been upset about it because at least we would have kept this product around. But instead, and I love Heaven Hill. Mm-hmm. I really do. But it just feels like they got greedy.
Well, so I think Heaven Hill was looking at a couple of other missteps in the bourbon industry and trying to come up with a better solution, and it just didn't go well.
No.
So look, you've got 2 polar opposites in the bourbon industry doing the same thing right now. Completely different things for the same objective. You've got Buffalo Trace, which is like, well, we can't mark up regular Weller, we can't mark up the 12-year, We can't mark up to 107.
Which they did.
And then they ended up like, well, we'll just mark it up a little bit. I was like, where am I going to make my money? We're going to make new Weller releases, and they're going to be quite a bit pricier than the special reserve, but really not be that different.
Yeah.
A single barrel's not any harder on the distillery other than them just curating the barrel that needs to go in.
Right.
And even then, you try 3 barrels, 30 minutes out of your time, come up with one, good to go. Not that much harder. Honestly, making a decent small batch might be more difficult at times.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's $50, instead of 20.
Mm-hmm.
It's only coming in 5 proof points higher. It's not that more difficult, and they're just making new brands to charge more for it that are not that different than what they were already offering to get extra money.
Yeah.
Can't blame them. Get your money. They were put in a weird spot. Or you can take the Booker's approach, which is just, hey, we got to mark it up. It's getting more difficult to produce, and for the demand that you guys want. And honestly, we've had so many, single barrel picks with the Knob Creek stuff. Our supply is getting limited on what we can put in here, and everyone's just like, put their head on a pike, get rid of them. I'm so mad. Blah 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 blah. And it's just like, well, what do I take? Do I take the sneaky approach, or do I just say we've got to mark it up because of demand? Obviously, they're like, we're going to take a different approach. We're going to kind of take it off the market. We're going to put out a new product.
Yeah.
It just, the taking it off the market thing, Buffalo Trace didn't do. So that's the different portion. I don't blame them for doing that.
Yeah.
It's less bad PR.
I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, the problem that Buffalo Trace has with their Weller products is not the same that Heaven Hill had with their Bottled and Bond product that they took away. Buffalo Trace was running out of stock, and so it became harder and harder to find because the demand was so high for it.
Yeah, and they still have stock on this.
They've got plenty. There's no way that they don't have quality 6-year-old product that could be put back into this bottle.
Yeah.
But I mean, you just look at the vastness of product that Heaven Hill has sitting in their rick houses as opposed to Buffalo Trace. Yes, Buffalo Trace is expanding, but that's not doing anybody any good right now.
Yeah.
And Heaven Hill may be expanding too. They, of course, are building new rick houses, just like every distillery who is seeing the market and responding accordingly is doing. The difference is that Heaven Hill has the product and has chosen not to do anything with it other than take it off the market. Buffalo Trace, on the other hand, barely has the product and is putting out new versions of it.
Yeah.
While there is still high demand for those initial 3 labels.
That's true.
People still go crazy over Weller Special Reserve.
They do.
The price that they are paying for Special Reserve is ridiculous. Nobody should be paying $50 for $7.50 of Special Reserve.
No.
It's insane. And Buffalo Trace continues to bring out all these new versions of it. Foolproof, single barrel, CYPB. There's no way we're not going to see a finished version eventually. That's definitely going to happen. They're following the 1792 method. Or whatever. Doesn't matter. The point is, it's kind of the same boat, but in other ways, they're almost completely different ball games.
Yeah, no, I think they're just responding to the same way. They're like, what got the least amount of backlash as far as making a little more money on certain products.
Yeah.
They're just following that vein. Granted, again, one's got the product to back it up, one doesn't.
Yeah.
It's 2 different ballparks.
Well, and I think, too, we haven't seen the promised distribution of the new Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond that we were supposed to get. I mean, we were supposed to see the 7-year in Kentucky by this point. Mm-hmm. And we haven't seen it.
No.
I haven't seen it anywhere. We had to get a bottle shipped from Clifton in California.
And we haven't seen the rye, the Elijah Craig rye.
Haven't seen the Elijah Craig rye at all. It's bizarre. And I know that there's like this slow rollout idea. But it's Kentucky. I mean, it's literally right here. Hours drives away to be put in liquor stores instead of shipping it halfway across the country or all the way across the country if it's going to California.
Yeah, and Carolinas, that's...
Yeah.
Ship it to the coast, but not keep it central, you know?
But you see what I mean? It's just I don't understand the model that they're following in terms of distribution right now. And I'm sure that we'll see it come to fruition eventually. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that we will be able to get it here in Kentucky. But it's just odd.
Yeah.
It's just strange. Should we have like one more thing before we get to our review? You think?
Sure. What you got?
Can you do that? I don't know.
Can I pick something?
Yeah, absolutely.
At random? Let's go.
Yeah. He's going to the cabinet. He's standing at the cabinet. He's opening the cabinet and there's a dead body in there. It's been a while since we've had this one. Some McKenna Bottled and Bond. Single barrel. I like it. This one's barrel 5318 that was barreled on 9/25/07. So I guess I've had this one for a while. But it's still got the cork. When did they switch over from the screw top to the cork? I can't even remember.
Sorry, shoving things in my ears here. I think it was back in 2017 to like 2018. They were swapping those over.
I honestly can't remember.
Because I remember my first one that I had was screw top, and for a while after I discovered it and was buying bottles on bottles on bottles of this,
Yeah.
It was screw top.
This is basically just an episode to make us sad. Like, trying stuff that we can't find that we used to be able to. We're going on recording hiatus. Like,
I mean...
Why are we punishing ourselves, Swan?
Sad in post, but currently I'm having a great time.
Oh, I'm having a good time as well, but...
Yeah. This one was weird, man, because at the time I was traveling for my job, and so...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Every week I would work Monday through Saturday in some random little town, you know? And then Sunday I'd come home, and Monday I'd drive back out. But I would always be in this weird thing where I was like, can't have open containers in the car. So if I buy this bottle... it's got to be gone this week. And so I would just finish a bottle a week there for a little bit. I would just be watching Family Guy in some random hotel room,
man.
just drinking.
That's intense.
I mean, what else do you do? You're just I'm in Anna, Illinois, hanging out in a hotel room, and I literally don't have work till 1 p.m. most days,
Yeah.
and I'm just like.
If only we had known Zoom was a thing at that point, we could have recorded podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Swan, what have you been drinking today? Same Henry McKenna bottle.
Yeah.
Very.
Well, you couldn't have like a collection going, you know? Mm-mm. It was difficult.
That's so invigoratingly frustrating.
Mm.
I haven't had McKenna in forever.
I just bought a bottle.
Really?
Yep.
What's the price at now? Like 40
$35.
bucks? Oh, 35. That's not bad at all.
I got it for $34.99.
I'm not upset about that.
Not at all.
I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Uh-huh. You know, it's funny. I used to when we first were drinking these, I'd go over to the liquor stores on my or the liquor store where I worked on my break.
Yeah.
And I would try to tell people, I was like, "Are you?" Because I worked in Frankfurt for a long time, so you had a lot of tourists come through.
Yeah.
And they're just like, "Do you guys have any Blantons or this or that?" And I'm like, "No, but we've got Henry McKenna 10 and this Heaven Hill 6-year that's only available in Kentucky." Trying to convince somebody that just heard all the hoopla at Buffalo Trace to buy this ugly little bottle of Heaven Hill 6-year or this really ugly bottle of Henry McKenna 10, they'd look at you like you had 15 eyeballs in your head. It was just the funniest thing.
Right. Sounds about right. Yeah. This is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that bottle that we had? That was
the special one?
The out of this world bottle?
Yes, yeah. They're all so different.
They are, but that specific one, it was just like heaven.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the best bottles I've ever had of anything. Of it, just hands down of anything. I miss it.
Yeah. I think about it still sometimes.
I do.
Yeah.
I still think about it in the shower. It's a great How I Met Your Mother line.
Yeah. No, this is just solid. The one I brought over, and it tastes like churros, was the last one I got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think that must have been the last time that I had McKenna. Because otherwise, I mean, these bottles just kind of sit in my cabinet. And it's not because I'm trying to hoard them. It's just kind of like I forget about them. Because I don't think that I'm inundated with their presence nearly as much as I used to be.
No.
It's the same with the Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond. I just don't see it. So I'm not going, oh, I've got to drink more. Or I've got to have more of it. You know, I probably would be if it were still widely available on the shelves.
Yeah. That and every bourbon drinker heard this fun little fact at the beginning of COVID that anything over 120 proof will kill the virus. So me and everyone I know has been like, so you don't normally drink 120 proof every night or every other night. But now you can. So I'm just buying Knob Creek.
It's all a
left and
scam.
right.
It's all a scam by Big Bourbon.
Big Bourbon, yeah. You know, I'm all right with this scam. It's all right.
They can scam me all they want. I mean, if it means I have to drink high proof stuff to prevent disease, I'm for it, man.
If only old granddad would have been like, well, 114's not hitting that 120 cap. We'll do one old granddad 124.
Yeah.
Instead. That'd be nice.
COVID edition.
Yes.
It's available only during the pandemic. So if the pandemic goes for 5 years, you know, which at this point it might, who's to say? But if it goes for that long, you know, that's 5 years of a 10 proof point higher old granddad.
Yeah, we've been flattening the curve for 6+ months now. Oh, man, we are awful at graphing.
I have a baby on the way, so can you people please just be careful? My baby should be here by now.
It should be.
I should be holding my baby. Apparently she has a lot of hair. Lucy went to the doctor today. We were telling you before we started recording.
Yeah.
And the nurse who was doing the ultrasound was like, oh, she's got a bunch of hair. Mm-hmm. And like Lucy sent me a picture of the ultrasound, and I was like, I can't make heads or tails of this. It was literally just here, I'll show you. It was just a blob. I was so confused.
I mean, does it surprise you?
No.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
She even marked hair on it. I'm like, what is that? None of this makes sense.
I don't know about that. I had a lot of hair when I came out, apparently.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just had no idea. My mom was like, you're the reason I have heartburn. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Lucy's had horrible heartburn during this. I came out, and I have three cowlicks on my head. I have one here, I have one on the back of my head, and I have one on my neck. And the first thing that my mom saw when I came out was this huge cowlick, this circle of hair on my head. Mm-hmm. I know I just made 3 different motions for the audio medium. That's not going to make any sense, but I have one basically at the top of my forehead on my right side. I have one where my crown is, and then I have one on the left side of my neck. And the one where the top of my forehead was super prominent when I was born.
Yeah, see, I've just got 2 crowns, so I've got hair that fights each other.
That's wild to me.
Yeah. One on both sides. And so, like, if I cut my hair real short, which I've never done for a reason, there's a certain
do like
point,
a buzz cut.
Yeah, if I do a buzz cut, for a while as it's growing out on the top, the hair will push into each other and create a mohawk.
That's
until
amazing.
It grows out far enough.
Has that happened to you before?
No.
Clearly, it has to.
No, I've always kept long hair. Always.
Wow.
On top, at least. And part of it is, too, I got a big scar on the side of my head.
Oh,
but, like, my hair goes straight out because of it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't put anything on the side of my head, but, like, I can literally, like, touch it and not touch my head. Like, it just sticks straight out.
My hair just recently started getting curly on top.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's being cut
Stress.
differently. Yeah. What a weird thing for it to happen.
Stress during a pandemic?
My hair gets curly.
Yeah.
Wild. Anyway. Oh,
we're just reminiscing now.
we are at this point. Yeah.
Here, McKenna.
I mean, but like, what else are we supposed to do? This is the last episode we're going to get to record for a while.
I don't know.
I mean, unless we just, like, all of a sudden it's like, hey, things are totally fine. We can just start recording again.
Yeah. Who knows?
In which case, the banked episodes might get released. I don't know.
Who knows?
Maybe those banked episodes aren't even, like, listenable.
Oh, you never know.
Because we recorded so many that week.
Yeah.
It was so brutal. We recorded, what, like 4 days in a row? 3 days in a row? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
We recorded a total of 7 episodes that week. Jeez Louise.
I always go in and download the episode. Because why not? And then download it and then
I appreciate it.
I'm just like, maybe should I listen to this one? I get a few minutes in and I start like getting the gist of the episode. I was like, oh, no, I know what happened. I remember. Okay, it's good. These banked episodes, I'm going to go back through and be like, oh my gosh.
I can't remember much of it. By the time Saturday rolled around, I felt like I had just come off a bender.
Yeah. You felt like you just left Whiskey Weekend.
Which had been an entire week. Mm-hmm. And I remember, like, I think by Wednesday or Thursday of that week, I woke up and just, like, sat on the edge of the bed and was like, I don't want to do this.
No.
I don't want any more.
Yeah.
And we still recorded. I still had a live stream that week. I think we had a hangout that week too. I can't even remember.
It was just like...
It was just a bunch of stuff.
I turned into one of those gym guys that always has like a gallon of water for a week. Because I was just like, I just gotta be hydrated, man.
Goodness. Banking episodes is fine, I feel like. I'm definitely not setting us up for success at this point. But banking episodes is fine if you're not drinking. Mm-hmm. But if you're just, trying to get a bunch of content out and you're staying mostly sober during it, it's fine. It's better. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, would you like to try something real special?
Yeah.
Now, Swan.
I would.
I guess we're officially moving into the review segment of the show. I almost leaned into that like I had a name for it. I definitely don't. But we are going to be reviewing the newest release of Parker's Heritage Collection. It is a 10-year-old, 120 proof, heavy Char Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
I love Heaven Hill so much.
They do good by us. They do real good by us.
They do. And my favorite is it says lab sample. Yes, this is the
no
laboratory.
commercial value.
This is the laboratory right here.
With the multiple Christmas trees behind you and the cat palace on the shelves. Yeah. You didn't put your lab coat on.
That's fair.
Do we go get it for you?
Yes.
All right. All right, I got it for you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh, buddy.
So I will say I have dipped into the sample a bit because I got a little excited.
That's what it's there for.
And in the words of a wise Grease, it ain't half bad.
It ain't half bad. Oh my goodness.
It is hot on the nose. It's got a lot of ethanol.
It does have a lot of ethanol. That's the thing, though. I think Parker's, where they're experimental, I don't care as much about some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. You know, it's not for the faint of heart.
No.
It's got some, like, mulling spices going on.
Well, that's real specific. Look at you.
It's good, man. Have you smelled those before?
I'm sure I have, but I don't know if I remember them enough to
It's basically
recall
like
that memory.
what you use for apple cider.
Oh, well, duh. Yeah.
But just take the apples out of it.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with that then. That is just... This is such a good fall whiskey nose.
It is.
Oh, I can't wait to break out my rare breed rye.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we're into that, the way that I promise I didn't cut that there, I just said it really awkwardly. Rare breed rye. I promise that just came out very odd. But now that it's fall, I can't wait to get back into the rare breed rye.
I'm just ready to get back into rye. You know, we're going to be like, recently I've been in a rye kick. No, it got cold. That's just what it is.
That's just my state of being once it gets below 50 degrees.
Yeah. It's soup weather.
Soup weather.
I'm shifting into soup mode. This nose is so good.
It's so good, man. I wish I still had a little bit of the heavy char rye to compare it to. But I think that deep char does something so different and so magical to these whiskeys. And you approve after having the first sip.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that doesn't drink like 120 proof.
No.
That finish. The finish. Ooh.
I've got strong opinions on this one.
In a good way or a bad way? Both?
Both.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I will say, I think it lacks a little bit up front.
See, I don't think it lacks really anywhere. The problem I have with it is I feel like it is so one vein in some areas. I think it needs some sweetness.
I'm getting some sweetness.
See, I'm just getting like mostly bitter.
I'm getting like a berry sweetness.
On the nose, I'm picking up the berry.
I'm definitely getting it on the palate. It's almost kind of like yogurty. Like a fruit yogurt kind of deal.
I'm not getting a whole lot of that. I don't know. I'll be honest. This is one of the most phenomenal bourbons I've had this year. I just want a little citrus, a little fruitiness to kind of poke out a little bit, kind of in that Buffalo Trace vein, like regular BT.
Is this better than the A120 to you?
Oh, yeah.
You remember, we gave the A120 like an 18 out of 20.
Yeah. It's right there with it.
Wow.
Now, I will say that they're in different... I have different moods, though. So, I mean, it's
Sure.
just like whatever you're in the mood for. I think if I was going to compare this to the A1...
by the way, sorry.
Go ahead.
Heaven Hill sent us the sample.
Yeah,
I
did.
needed to expressly state that.
They're great.
We didn't pay for it. They sent us this. Our opinions are our own. It's not reflective of the fact that they sent us a sample.
Yeah.
Fine. Disclaimer over. Sorry.
I think this one will get a lower score than that because of the price point.
Yeah.
But
at the same time, you have to remember that the higher price point is contributing to ALS research.
Yeah.
So there's something else behind it.
That's true. Yeah. Wow. This has one of the most prominent potato chip effects I've ever had. You know that, like, I need another sip. Maybe the next one's got a little more flavor. Like, I'm salivating a little bit. Of anything I've tried this year, for sure.
There is a really defined line once it starts to get into the finish.
Yeah.
I mean, once it hits this finish, all of those, what you were kind of saying, the mulled spices, even baking spices as well, start to creep up. But I am kind of getting some citrus on the back end of the palate into the finish. I think that there's an orange zest that I'm picking up just a little bit, but I think that it's kind of in like a potpourri mix.
That I can get.
Like it's not prominent, but it is there.
Yeah.
And it's enough to be noted, I guess.
I feel like it's one of those deals where they put like a dried blood orange on a cocktail.
Yeah.
And it's not really attributing a ton of flavor. But you see it and your mind's just like, citrus. You know? So I don't know.
It's crazy how easy this drinks.
It is.
For it being 120 proof.
Yeah. It is an absolute journey of a drink.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
After going back for a couple of sips, I just think this is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's a big statement, but I feel like this is better than most of the products in the Antique Collection this year.
I feel like the Weller and the Sazerac are better, or on the same in the same vein.
Yes, but the other three not as.
Oh, if you give me the chance between this and George C. Stagg this year, this would be on my shelf.
I
ASAP.
agree, and even just for like $20 more. Are you ready to review this one?
I am. Yeah.
It's gonna be a weird review.
It is, because you're picking up some things in this that I'm just not.
Well, it's not just that, but I'm feeling so positive about this one. And honestly, this is kind of creeping up into my top 10 for 2020.
Oh, it's not creeping up for me at all.
It's there.
Yeah.
I think this is a really great installment for the Heritage Collection. And I can't wait to get my review on this one. So we have a review system, if you are new to the show, of nose, palate, finish, and price. Each category is out of 5, and then we total the score up out of 20. Swan, what would you give it on the nose?
Nose, I'm going to go with a 4. The initial nose is really hot. Once
But
you
it
have a
mellows
sip of
out.
Yeah, once you have a sip of it, it's pretty good. I don't know. I mean, the only thing I have against it is, again, I'm not picking up a ton of sweetness on it. And I don't need it to be overly sweet. I just want it to kind of balance out a little bit. There's some bourbons that can go without it, like George C. Stagg, where I'm not looking for sweetness. It's literally just tobacco, heavy char, and pain, and I love it, you know?
Pain.
Hey, that's
Bring the pain,
exactly.
brother. I think I hurt my voice doing that.
But it's just a solid 4. It's very good. Heaven Hill has just outdone themselves with add this number 5 char.
See, I agree with you on that, but I'm picking up sweetness. And it's kind of an artificial sweetness, almost.
At most, I'm getting some vanilla. I mean, it's...
Yeah. I mean, I see where you're coming from. I'm finding a little bit more of the sweetness to it, but I don't disagree with you on your on your score. I'm going to give it a 4 as well. I think it's extremely well rounded. I think that this is it's hard not to say that this is one of the best whiskeys I've had this year.
Yeah.
Because it truly is one of the best ones I've had this year. I mean, there is absolutely no denying that. And it's funny because it just kind of came out of left field. And yeah, we had asked for a sample of it and everything, but even still,
you just never know what you're going to get with
you
Parker's.
never know. But I think it's extremely approachable. I think that it has a lot of depth to it, especially after sitting in the glass for a couple of minutes, and it seems to be ever changing and ever developing. So I'm gonna give it a 4 for sure. Palate wise, what do you think?
I gave it a 4.5. Palate's very, very strong. And honestly, this is like one of these things where you can't talk about the palate without talking about the finish.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give my score simultaneously. I gave the palate a 4.5, and I gave the finish a 5.
We are right on track with each other.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I mean, that is exactly where I was going.
And the only reason that you can't not talk about the two simultaneously, and for a stupid reason, is that the palate just hits a point where it switches to the finish. And I know that sounds crazy, but there's so many bourbons you have where it's just like palate. Oh, there's kind of a lingering thing going on, you know? And with this, it's like you hit this second where you're just drinking it, where it's just boom, we're in the finish.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. It's one of those things that if you get to try it, you'll definitely know. But it's got a very defined switching point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fantastic. It's like drinking directly from a rick house. It's got a lot of those mulling spices you got on the nose. It's just amazing.
No, I totally agree with you. I think that while the palate is super robust,
Mm-hmm.
the finish takes everything that the palate has given you and just seems to expand upon it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's long, it's deep. Sorry, I'm using weird words to describe this, but it just is so pleasant. And I think that you put it best when you said it's got the potato chip effect.
Yeah, it definitely does.
I want multiple sips of this. I want to keep going back to this. If I had a bottle of this, a full 750 of this,
It'd be gone so
it would
fast.
be dangerous in my hands.
Yeah.
I would have a hard time not pulling this out every night and going, yeah, it's all right for me to have a little bit more.
Yeah. It's just phenomenal. And it also has this like oily coating all over your mouth.
Yeah.
Which is
It's a
phenomenal.
great mouthfeel.
Yeah, mouthfeel's fantastic. It's got like this thing too where it finally like finishes the finish. Like, I mean, it's like it's got a second finish where it just clears out your nasal passages.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I was wondering because I was like, I can breathe again.
Yeah. So it's so strange. Like, you've got the palate has this abrupt change into the finish, and then as soon as it starts to taper off the finish, it's like that fresh like mint effect, but not actually minty. And it's just nuts, man. It's wild. I wish they would do this number 5 Char on some more products.
I agree. It would be nice to see because clearly with both the rye and the bourbon, this is now a proven method that Berlioz is apparently going through all the boxes that he can find. Anyway,
Just making sure they're all right.
this one's empty too, Dad. Did
Yeah.
you know that?
Such a good helper.
No, but this is now a proven method that they can do something really good.
Mm-hmm.
And they should make something more common out. Look at it. Look. He was just leaning up on the chair. That was so cute. If you guys haven't seen Berlioz, he's one of the most handsome cats you'll ever see in your entire life. I'll have to post a picture of him sometime.
He's so good.
He's my buddy. He'll jump up on my chair while I'm trying to edit and just hang out with me. He's like, no, Dad, you're not doing any work. You're giving me attentions. Anyway, sorry, cat talk. I think that they should I agree with you. I think they should do more. They should expand on this idea, this process, and give us something more accessible.
Elijah Craig Heavy Char.
I'm down. I'm totally down for it.
94 proof. Let me have it.
I'm all about that. I don't have any problem with that at that proof. I think that It could be spectacular. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
That being said, this is $120 a bottle.
Yes.
And I will go back to what I was saying before. It does go towards ALS research. It's hard to say that it's a catch-22 because it's almost not, because it's like you're donating money to a charity, but also getting something back.
Yeah.
And in that case, I mean, it goes to a good cause. You're getting a great product out of it. Honestly, Swan, I gotta give it a 5.
I'm giving it a 4.5.
And I was kind of going back and forth with that myself, but like in some ways, you can buy this bottle, and yes, it is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But the product inside is phenomenal, and there is something on the other end of it to where you're not feeling like you have just spent your money with wild abandon. Excuse me. I've got to give the price a 5. I think this is one of the strongest installments in the Parker's Heritage Collection.
Yeah, I do too.
And honestly, I think this might be better than the Heavy Char Rye.
I struggle with that because I genuinely enjoyed it. But again, it's one of those deals where it's going to depend on what you're in the mood for.
Absolutely.
The Heavy Char Rye is definitely like a Thanksgiving, Christmas, break it out kind of thing. This is just, hey, it's cold outside. Leaves are falling off. Drink me. Like, it's different.
Yeah. So that brings me up to an 18.5.
And I'm at an 18.
So it's a recommend for me.
Yeah.
It is. If you can find it, if you can swing it, grab this bottle. You'll enjoy what you've picked up, and you'll have done something good.
Yeah, yeah. I think the only reason I'm at a 4.5 is because I just know that, with availability, it's going to be hard to find.
Sure.
And generally, finding it at that 120 price point, it's going to be difficult.
But I do think that if we're talking about LEs,
oh yeah,
it's priced pretty fairly.
I mean, just look at what else they've got in their LE line right now. So the Old Fitz, Bottled and Bond,
William Heavenhill.
I mean, even just comparing it to like Four Roses LE.
Mm-hmm. Old Forester Birthday Bourbon.
It's in a very good price point.
Yeah.
For what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it doesn't have the age on it, but it's experimental too. And that's like another tax that a lot of people forget to talk about. Experimental stuff goes for a lot. So, I don't know. I'm all for it. I'm going to be looking for a bottle of this year.
I think I might be too.
I'll splurge on this one.
I think this might be, and I had talked about getting a full bottle of Old Forester Birthday Bourbon, and that being my big purchase. Just didn't really work out the way that I wanted it to, mostly because I haven't been able to find it and nobody's had any leads.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very compelled to pick up a 750 of this new Parker's Heritage.
Pick up a 750. Is there other options? Do they have like a 175 that I could get?
I would love for there to be something more, a little bit more value to it.
Mm-hmm. That'd be nice, right?
Get a handle of Parker's.
Yeah.
I wonder if like the bourbon boom didn't happen, if that would have been something that places like Heaven Hill would have considered.
Could you imagine just like, oh, we got a handle of, 23-year-old Pappy. Come on down.
It's still like $500 though.
Yeah.
And it's like a jug. It's got like a handle on it.
Yeah, it's like the jug wine section at Total Wine.
No, it's still in the bourbon aisle.
Yeah, but I mean, just like those bottles.
Yeah, exactly. Man, that would be something. What a weird alternate universe to be able to live in.
I'm going.
Would you still? Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even if that were the universe we lived in, would you consider spending $500 on a jug of bourbon? Maybe.
I mean, I'd think about it in this alternate universe. I might be rich, so who knows? Sure. I'd think about it. If we're talking hypotheticals, I'm all over it.
Fair enough. Well, I guess it's time for us to segue into our other segment. Well, our next segment, Tips and Bits, where we recommend things for people. It's not always bourbon related. Sometimes it is. What do you have this week, Swan?
Criminal Minds, man.
Oh, my gosh. Stop watching Criminal Minds, Swan. Stop doing that to yourself.
It's been just auto playing. There's times where I look up and I was like,
but that's the worst.
What's this
That's the
killer's
worst
MO?
thing about it, because the more that you expose yourself to it, even in the background, the more that it's going to seep into your brain. So if you just desensitize yourself to it, eventually you're going to start dreaming about it.
yeah.
And that's where it starts to get problematic.
Yeah.
We need to start a campaign to get you to stop watching Criminal Minds.
I'm going to watch all 12 seasons and you can't stop me. I'm already halfway through
Watch
season
Numbers.
2.
Watch
Already watched
Chicago
Numbers.
Beat. Oh, my gosh.
Love Numbers. It's fantastic. I watched that
It's okay.
as it was coming out. I was a kid and I was like 12 years old and I'm just like, what?
I had a girlfriend in high school who loved Numbers.
Listen, Numbers got ruined for me when I went back and watched Santa Claus 2, I think it was. And one of the
He was
head
one of the
elves.
elves. Yeah.
was the same guy from Numbers. It's just I couldn't recover from that, man.
Did you know that Ralphie from A Christmas Story is one of the elves in Elf?
No,
Yeah.
had no idea.
He's the one that's got the glasses that comes up to Buddy, and he's telling him that
No
he's
way.
953 off the pace.
No way.
Yeah, that's Ralphie. He's also in Iron Man.
What a strange career. No, I really don't have much. I haven't been doing much.
You've been working.
Yeah, working. That's about it. I don't know. I mean, if I had to really give people a tip, just take this thing seriously. All the stuff that's going on
Please.
with the virus. Because
Please.
I mean, my job lately has been 100% dependent on people not paying attention to it,
Yeah.
and I would really, really like to see it go away
I would too.
gradually, of course, but you know.
Also, like, I wish people were more empathetic towards even somebody they don't know. And like my number one case in point right now is the fact that Lucy's pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want her to get sick.
No.
If she gets sick, the baby might get sick.
Yeah.
But also, if she gets sick, that means that she can't see the baby immediately. The baby has to get taken away from her.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that's horrible.
It is.
And, you know, I've got a grandmother who's almost 90. My brother has underlying medical conditions as well. Like, there's just so much that you don't know about. And I know that people are like, well, it's my choice, but at the same time, you should still be kind to other people, and you should still give them the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very frustrated by it. In a country where we haven't gone through a serious lockdown, where we could eradicate the virus.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you. Could you please repeat what you said?
Okay, well,
No, Siri.
Siri's apparently listening in on us, but my point is just that, you know, you just don't know what's going on
Yeah.
with other people.
If I could make a serious thing, I mean, local businesses are having a hard time right now. See if you can buy a gift card from that local business.
Mm-hmm.
Do curbside pickup for them. Go do that. I mean, those are what. If you're really worried about stuff falling apart during this, go support a local business, local liquor store. We love Total Wine. We love Liquor Barn, both of them. But at the same time,
Mom and pop shops.
go pick
man.
up from your mom and pop.
Yeah.
Do it. Don't leave the house unless you gotta.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy. We're telling you to sit on your couch and hang out. Everyone is. Just chill.
But it's a don't leave your house if you don't have to
Yeah, that's
kind
it.
of deal.
If you gotta go to the grocery store, you gotta go. That's the reason I have a job. It's fine. Go if you gotta. But I mean, like the lady that I saw the other day that was wearing a mesh mask. I mean,
I'm hanging my head in shame.
yeah. I mean, it's just nuts. And I mean, I literally have to get tested now, like every 4 to 5 days.
That's
Yeah.
exhausting.
It's nuts. At a certain point, it's going to be like, my brain's going to be like just smooth from just kidding. From just kidding.
You know your brain doesn't rotate, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not getting a different part of your brain every
It's
time
when
you
they
get
shove
tested.
something up that far. Just moving it around.
Swan, we need to have a talk about anatomy.
It's, yeah. I don't have a brainstem. It's just moving around up there.
Anyway, please be careful. Please
like-
be courteous of other people. And I know that this is just us. It's just two of us. We're just talking. But I am making a plea legitimately because I have a pregnant wife. I have a baby who's about to be here. And I want us to be able to see our baby. I want to have, an easy transition from birth to mommy baby relationship. I want that to be easy for us. I know it's not easy for everybody right now. It's tough. There are people who are still waiting on unemployment checks who applied in March. I know that. I had to deal with those people. I listened to their pleas every day for a month and a half, however long it was. I know that there are people struggling. But there are people struggling in here too.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to be well, and I don't want this to go on for longer than it has to. But I just
got to prevent future struggle.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And on a less serious note, if I could recommend something, pick up a copy of American Whiskey Magazine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Also, play some Among Us.
Play some Among Us. Yes. Oh, great.
We had a group. Was that yesterday that we were playing? No, that was 2 days ago.
2 days
it was on
ago, yeah.
Saturday. And we were all playing online, and it was all fun, and then people started dropping out, and then just a bunch of jerks started getting in on the game too.
You're just mad because you got killed every game.
That was not my fault. How was that my fault?
Every game you got leveled within seconds.
I was the first one dead for like 3 games in a row. That was not my fault. Don't pin this on me, Swan. I'm also not mad because I died. I'm mad because there were just rude people who came in and started playing with us.
Yeah.
Anyway, Among Us is a lot of fun. Also, we didn't talk about this because we drank it before the show, but the new Bardstown Bourbon Company Fusion Series.
Dude, yeah. grab
Fusion
it.
Series 3.
I'm literally recommending it to somebody right now.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
If you're in Kentucky, or at least in Lexington, it's on sale at Liquor Barn for $50. I mean, it's normally like 60, I guess, 60 or 65, but it's a steal for $50. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, I guess that's the end of this episode.
Yeah.
We're done recording for a while, Swan.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I'll just record stuff in my basement.
On your phone.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a live stream while you're gone.
Oh, that would be great. That would
I'll
be great. You may as well. In that closet.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a bunch of LEDs all over the room now.
Nice.
So
You have a
it's-
rave while you review some whiskeys.
You can't actually do that. You can,
believe it.
You can turn the
I
speed
believe
up
it.
to 100%, and it's just like. Actually, you have to turn it down to like 95 because if it flashes too fast, it just looks solid. It can only go.
Oh, wow.
It can only go so fast.
That's wild.
so.
Yeah. Hey, thank you all so much for listening through this episode. I am really genuinely excited for once we get back into recording again here in a few weeks. I say a few weeks. It's going to be a bit, probably a couple months before we get to do this again. But in the meantime, we are going to have a bunch of episodes still out. It's not like we're fully going on hiatus. It's just we're not going to be recording every week. We're going to obviously take a big break from the news and stuff like that. But you guys are going to enjoy our banked episodes. They were a lot of fun to record, despite the fact that we wanted to die by the time that we were done with them.
Yeah.
So
And they're a little shorter too, so they're
They are.
pretty easy to consume content.
yeah.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean, this one's about an hour and a half, hour 40. So it's going to be a lot quicker listen for most folks. But we appreciate everybody who is consistently listening to the show and telling their friends about it and everything. And we will be back as soon as we can with regular episodes. But yeah, Swan, where can people find you on social media?
I'm at Swan TBF on Instagram. I had to think about that. I just changed it.
You changed it recently, yeah.
Swan TBF, Swan the Bourbon Finder on Instagram.
Did you change it on Twitter yet?
No, actually, I don't have Twitter anymore.
Oh, it's just gone?
It exists, but I'm not.
Oh,
I
okay.
have the app downloaded.
Yeah.
Because I just like... Twitter's a platform, man.
Too much.
Twitter's a platform.
Too much,
I can do
man.
Instagram. I'm going to pick one. I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah.
Follow me there. If you got
Fair.
questions, let me know, man.
Yeah, you'll get all the ravings and rantings of lunatics elsewhere, even if it's not from the source.
I want less text. You know? Like, just makes it easier.
I understand. You're a visual learner.
Yeah,
I
I
am
can't read.
No. You never had to learn because of your big swan feathers.
You just have to know how to eat, fly, and chase children. That's it.
Oh, my goodness. Well, if you want to follow me, I am at PureRaider1492 on all social media platforms. If you want to follow the show itself, it's at My Bourbon Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can leave us a 5-star rating and review on the iTunes podcast app. We have a really, really great review from this past week that just kind of warmed my heart just a bit. And it comes from Bizzle Sippin' Syrups?
I've seen him in the chats before.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, it's 5 stars. Says, has quickly become my favorite podcast. So I drive anywhere from 8 to 13 hours a day with my job, and I needed to find a podcast or two to make the nights go by quicker. My love for bourbon brought me here, and after only 2 episodes, I went back to the very beginning and listened to every episode in order. Being unable to enjoy bourbon throughout the week with my job, this allows me to enjoy it in an entirely different way. Plus, the tips and bits and news segments have given me a plethora of ideas of things to watch on meal breaks, listen to between episodes, or look for when at stores. The natural rapport between Perry, Swan, and Curtis make for an enjoyable and entertaining listen, and it's like I'm sitting there with friends, enjoying a drink and fellowship right along with them. Thanks for helping the thousands of miles pass by seamlessly. You guys are heroes, aiding in the safe and speedy transport of millions of packages for a big brown truck and trailers on the highway each and every week. Cheers, guys. That's a heck of a sweet review.
It is, and I'm going to give him a shout out because honestly, I've worked in a business that relies on shipments quite a bit. There's times where they literally don't have drivers to take trailers right now. That is a hefty job. It is not one to be overlooked, and we appreciate you for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So very, very nice to see that review in there. And if you want to do that, again, you can do so in the iTunes podcast app. Right in app, if you're listening to the show, you just scroll down a little bit, and then you can leave us a review. It's really nice, and it really helps us out. You can find all of our apparel and merchandise at Patreon. No, that's not where it is. Bourbonshop.threadless.com. I jumped ahead. I got too excited about Patreon. Bourbonshop.threadless.com. There is all sorts of apparel, all sorts of merchandise, including masks to protect your loved ones and people that you don't even know from the coronavirus pandemic. You can wear a logo, our logo, not a logo, our logo, on your mask. Or on a shirt. Or even, Swan, on your skateboard.
Yes.
Which is a weird thing that we have.
You can do it, though.
Don't drink and grind, people.
No. No, even sober, I've hurt myself plenty of times.
You can become a part of our Facebook group at facebook.com. Search for This Is My Bourbon Group. It's been really fun recently and super active. We've had a lot of great conversation over there as well. Let's see. What else? What do we have? What's the other stuff that we have to plug? YouTube.com/This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I normally go live on Thursday nights at about 8:30. I think that's going to change up a little bit once the baby comes. I'm, of course, going on hiatus for a little while, but that's where you can become part of the Snuffy Squad, of course, and hit us up with some of those snuffy chats. It's our super chat method thing. Yep. Anyway. And I think, unless I'm forgetting something else, is there anything I'm forgetting?
No. Patreon?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/Bourbon Podcast. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support the show. For as little as $5 a month, you get a bunch of bonus content like our pregame chats and our last call, which comes out every week for every episode, except for this one. This one, we don't have that. But it will be back once we are back to a normal recording schedule. But there's a huge backlog of bonus content that you can check out there. And I've got some bonus episodes that need to come out as well. I just need to get them posted. So be on the lookout for that. That does it for this week. That does it before our recording hiatus. Swan. It's weird, man. It's strange. But you know what? Next time we do this, I'll hold the baby. How's that sound?
Oh, yeah. Sounds
okay.
good.
She's gonna cry.
We'll get her a mic.
Yeah.
A lapel. Should be good.
Well, we will see you all next week for the first round of our banked episodes. We'll see you as soon as we can for a brand new, up-to-date, normal recorded episode. It'll be a while, but that's okay. We'll see you then. But until then, I'm Perry.
And I'm Swan.
And this is my Bourbon Podcast.